Hey, what's up, guys? It's Count Chocula. I'm back on Marvel Heroes, and I'm going to be running my Summoner Rogue through the Cosmic Trial. Now, if I get by the Cosmic Trial, I'm going to be breaking down the build that I'm using. So let's go ahead and get to it. I'm using the Magic Team Up that I do have leveled up to 60. So I will go over my gear and artifacts and all of that good stuff when I get through the Cosmic Trial. So let's go ahead and get started here. Looks like I'm starting at the bottom here. Now, I've had a couple of heated discussions with a player or two on the social chat saying that the Summoner Rogue is just not viable and can never be good. And kind of got into it with one guy recently on there, and he was just dead set against the Summoner Rogue, and he was telling people to stay away from it. So I bought Rogue the day the character came out, and the first build that I did was actually a Summoner. Now, that was actually about 2 years ago, and I never did have to do the Cosmic Trial with the character, because back then they didn't have the Cosmic Trial. You just could automatically, once you hit level 60, you could automatically access the Cosmic Patrol regions. And then they changed it where you actually had to prove your character's worth and put it through the Cosmic Trial. So I always liked the Summoner build, but when Doctor Doom came out, that is kind of what all my gear went to. I switched it over to Doctor Doom because he has such a good Summoner build. I've kind of compared the two recently. My Doctor Doom has like 45 intelligence and, you know, like 750% summoned ally damage. My Rogue is nowhere near that high. I think my intelligence right now is at, I don't know, 21 or 22, something like that, which isn't too bad. I don't have as good a gear on Rogue as I do Doctor Doom. Like, I don't have the Latverian Monarch Cloak on Rogue or anything. I mean, I could switch it from Doom because I very rarely play Doctor Doom anymore. I kind of go through phases of, you know, when I play characters and everything. I kind of play what's, you know, I don't really stick to something that I think is like overpowered. I kind of go from character to character, just kind of what mood I'm in, or how fun I think the character is. And the Summoner Rogue's really fun, but this guy said that the Summoner Rogue build is absolutely not viable. And I said, why are you telling people that are asking your opinion about this stuff? Because I found that there's the Summoner Rogue build isn't really that lagging behind Doctor Doom. You know, of course, a little bit. Doctor Doom, when you do the Lord of Latveria signature, it's going to do massive damage, more than any rogue summon could do, but it's got a big cooldown as well. The beauty about playing the rogue summoner is you can keep spawning. You can just keep spamming the summons, and yeah, the summons aren't as good. You know, that wouldn't make sense. The character would be way too OP. You know, if, you know, just, that's the whole basis of Rogue. You take a little bit of this and a little bit of that from other characters. So anyway, I got into it with this guy, so kind of inspired me to make a video. And as you can see, I just crushed Madam Hydra easy. I mean, that was as easy as I've done Doctor Doom with. Now, I'm not saying I'm going to get through this, but I mean, eventually I will. As you can see, I do have an invulnerability core on my X gene for the costume. And there's, you know, there's a little bit of spirit issues, which is something you never run in with Doctor Doom. I mean, I'm never gonna, because you're not resummoning stuff as much with Doctor Doom. Maybe the shield bots you have to resummon to give you extra defense, but the actual you know, the meat behind the whole build of Doctor Doom is Lord of Latveria specialization. So, but the Loki power for Rogue that I'm using, where you dash and it summons a, you can have up to 3 of the mental damage illusions is really good. So, and of course I'm still using recall overload, which basically I just use to refresh the spirit. I mean, it does pretty good AoE damage, but it's not that great of a signature. And I use Cyclops Ricochet Blast just to build back spirit, so I can just keep summoning. Oh, I don't want to die there. I didn't notice Red Skull was out because I'm talking too much. I could probably do this a little bit better if I wasn't talking. Now, I still don't like Rogue's ultimate that much. I don't... Rogue's ultimate could definitely be better. They improved it a little bit. I mean, it does some okay damage. When it first came out, it was absolute garbage, in my opinion. I've been noticing a lot of people on the social chat recently, you know, giving new players advice. They're just speaking in absolutes all the time. And, you know, my best advice to newer players is try this stuff out on your own. Don't, you know, everyone thinks they're an expert on the game, and I'm definitely not an expert. I try stuff for myself. But this guy said that Rogue wasn't viable as a summoner because of math. And I said, well, I mean, what's your math based on? I mean, I've got like 600% summoned ally damage. I've got about 350 summoned ally health. I mean, I could make it better. But he was like, oh no, Rogue will always be the weakest summoner. He'll always be lagging behind other summoners. And that I disagree with. I think Rogue Summoner is definitely better than Loki. Now, I could be wrong. I have Loki. I've played him a little bit, but I'm definitely not an expert with Loki. But I wasn't really that impressed. I'd be ashamed to die right now, especially since Red Skull's melting. Let's go ahead and do the ultimate and see. I usually don't even bother with the Rogue ultimate. It looks cool, you know. You get all the. I'm definitely doing it wrong. They always had Raging Cajun in that spot. Raging Cajun's a good support power. It's a good buff, but I'm not using it really for the. I'm doing terrible here. I should have never played this, never done this ultimate. That I lose my summons. There we go. Yeah, Rogue's ultimate. I just don't know what I'm doing with it. I never use it. Alright, the bodyguard's down. I've still got a minute here. This shouldn't be a problem. Just re-summon everything here. Squirrel Girl, summon the... Alright, let me focus here. Get through this. And that'll do it. Alright. So, like I said right there, I mean, you can't base everything on the Cosmic Trial. But this guy was absolutely ridiculous to say that the Rogue Summoner build is not good. It's never going to be good. And I had to disagree. So, pretty much beasted the Cosmic Trial. That was as easy as I've done it with Dr. Doom. So anyway, that's it on that. Let's, why don't I go back out here? Okay, guys, that was the Cosmic Trial. So let's look at the Summoner build for Rogue. I'll just go over the powers that I'm using. On the Steal from Friends tree, let's start with the Marvelous Physique. I put 1 point into Kree Resilience. Just 1 point. Just to get the basic damage reduction, crit hit, all of that. You know, just a little bit of maximum health, deflect rating, all of that. Just have 1 point in there. And I think that's the only thing I use. I also have 1 point into Flight, because I just like to have that movement ability. Doesn't do any damage, but you can get from point A to point B a little faster with the Flight. So I have that on my 7th spot down there. And once again, I only put 1 point. So that's only 2 points used in the Marvelous Physique. Steal from Friends, I have Squirrel Girl. I've got 20 points into that. It's called Squirrel Friends. Summon Support. You can have up to 6 summon support powers. Denizens of the Other Place. That's a support summon from Magic. And I'm using the Magic team up, so that was easy to get. and does mental damage. You can have up to 3 demons, and it's got a 15-second cooldown. But they have right now. I have it where they have 895.6% of my health, so that's pretty good. Ice Golem from Iceman. I've got 20 points into that. That's going to be one of your main damagers. If you use a range power, it's going to summon a melee golem. If you last use a melee power, it's going to summon a range golem. So most of the time I get the just about all the time I get the melee golem, and he does a lot of damage. He does a lot of energy damage because I don't think I have any melee. I don't think I use any melee abilities on this build, so it's all range with Cyclops' Ricochet Blast, which I have as well. I put that on my left mouse click. Like I said, I only have 1 point into that because the gear gives me at level 16 on that, but that's mainly just used to build. It's a basic, and it's a core power. You can have unlimited amount of core powers, but I just use that basically to build spirit back because resummoning everything, you'll burn through a lot of spirit on the rogue build. So for the passive, now there's 3 good passives that I know of. Now I'm not sure about the new Nick Fury. When you're fighting the Nick Fury scroll, I think it's called Hardened Leadership. Haven't looked into that, so if you're thinking about this build, you might want to look into what that does. I have not taken the time to look into what that does. I only use 2 passives. The viable passives are Rocket Raccoon, Madam Hydra, and Venom, and there's pros and cons to all of them. You definitely want to get Rocket Raccoon. It's 84% summoned ally damage and 50% summoned ally health, and I have them at level 39. I've got 20 points into that. So it's called Crafty Tactician. That's from Rocket Raccoon. I'm using Recall Overload. I've got 20 points into that. It does pretty good. It does pretty good area damage. It's not great, but it does regenerate spirit quickly, so it's kind of nice. Like I said, Ricochet Blast from Cyclops. That's my basic. I think I already said that. Illusionary Projection. This is great from Loki. I've got it on my right mouse click. It's a melee, movement, summon, and support. So you can have up to 3 illusions cast, and they stick around a long time. They have decent amount of health, and damage reduction 70%, maximum illusions 3, and it says summon duration 43 seconds. So they stick around a long time. So that's everything from the Steal from Friends tree. Okay, from the Steal from Foes tree, first thing you steal from Mole Man is Call Moloids. This is a support power. There's a hurler and a leaper. They do physical damage. They have a shit ton of health, and their duration is 1.1 minute. They're kind of slow. Once you summon them, they have to come up from the ground, so it takes a couple seconds. But they really, like I said, they can really tank for you. They can, they can soak up a lot of damage, and it's really, the attacks are a little slow, but they do a shit ton of damage. But the attacks are slow, so there's a drawback to it. But I still suggest using it. Here is my second passive that I use. I didn't opt for the Venom passive. It gives you a +1 durability, and it gives you a little bit less summoned ally damage than Madam Hydra's. I think the Venom one tops out around 50 or 60%, and I've got this one at 98.2 summoned ally damage and 57.7 summoned ally health. So the Superior Tactician from Madam Hydra. She's easy to find. You can find her in the basic storyline. I believe in Lowtown. She spawns. She's one of the spawning bosses in the I think it's chapter 3 or chapter 4. I can't remember. But she's easy to find. She's also in the one shot, the Axis one shot. So like I said, she's easy to find. And I have 20 points in her as well. All of these main summon abilities, I have 20 points in. Now this right here is Vanish. It's a movement teleport ability. I'm not actually using it, but I like to keep it stolen in the tree. You get it from Kirigi. He's one of the respawning bosses in ICP, and it's pretty cool. It's a core power, and it's you can teleport around. It gives you a dodge rating of 1,005 for 4 seconds. I'm not using this currently on my bar, but sometimes I'll put it on just for the hell of it. It's kind of a nice power to have, and I only have 1 point into that, so it's no big deal. I mean, I could respec and put that point in something else, but it doesn't really matter. So that's basically my the powers for the character. Now the gear I'm using Spear of the White Gorilla Tribe. I'm on number 1 spot. I'm using the cuirass of bioengineered cuirass of Mr. Sinister. I remember when I first started playing the game, I farmed Mr. Sinister so long to get this for my Doctor Doom. What you eventually want to get for Doctor Doom is the Latvarian Monarch Cloak. That's a great summoner. That is a great summoner item. I don't have another one. I have one on my Doctor Doom. I don't have one on Rogue. What I'm using is Cloak of the Reaper. What I like about it is it reduces the cooldown of Recall Overload by 2 seconds, and it also gives you a chance to summon Gambit and Nightcrawler. And it's kind of cool to have, every once in a while to have Nightcrawler and Gambit come out, even though they don't do much. It's just kind of cool. It's just like 2 more different summons to come out that are X-Men. So I'm using Age of Apocalypse boots. When you hit with a core power, recall the power of Wolverine, gaining 2% attack and move speed for 10 seconds. This can stack up to 5 times, so that's pretty cool. Plus, it gives some. You can get a boost from the boost to the ranks of Rogue's marvelous physique powers, which helps out the Kree resilience. So. And I'm using Trask Commander Helm. You can also get the Octobot Controller, I believe, is also a good one to use. I think I might have that on my Doctor Doom. So I don't want to tamper with my Doctor Doom summoner, because he is the main summoner in the game. But Rogue, the guy I was arguing with said that Rogue is definitely the worst summoner. I just totally disagree with that. I don't know where this guy, he says he did all the math on all the summoners. I don't know what math he's doing. It's kind of crazy. Maybe I'm wrong, but I really don't think I am. Trask Commander Helm just gives you summoned ally damage and summoned ally health. It also 2% chance to hit when you hit to summon a Sentinel to fight for you. So that's pretty cool. Sometimes the Sentinels show up. It just kind of looks neat. I'm using the Armor Alternate Reality Relic. I don't have 1,000 of them yet on this character. I've got 1,000 on my Doom. For the artifacts, I'm using the Blessed Orders from the Scroll Emperor, Mole Man's Staff. I'm using Mr. Sinister's Medallion. That's kind of a no-brainer. You can also use Manape. Manape works. The Cherubus Neotrum, which when you use a signature, it every 5 minutes, it's a 5-minute cooldown. You get 6 Mayhem Demons for 30 seconds. And kind of my ultimate goal for Rogue was not to do like maximum damage, but to have like the maximum number of summons come out, just so it clutters up the screen. It's just kind of fun to do. And I'm using the Armor Alternate Reality Chaos Portal. 1% chance to summon a random being. You can get like Baby Deadpool and stuff like that. You can get a Raptor, just kind of random being to fight. It'll fight with you for 20 seconds. So plus it has really good summoned ally damage and health. So I'm using the Dupe Inspiration, kind of a no-brainer for summoners. I've just got a summoner ring here with summoned ally duration. It's a Bloodstone Demon Band. Give me damage and summoned ally duration. That's about it. It's Insignia of Nick Fury. Probably the best insignia for summoner, just because of the little passive that it has. When you use any power, you and your allies gain 12% summon damage and 1 intelligence for 8 seconds. So that's kind of nice. Plus, whenever you use a shield med kit, you summon a shield tactical agent. So that's just another summons to help clutter up your screen. So just makes it a lot of fun. I have to say that Rogue Summoner is a lot of fun to play because you just keep spamming out the you can just keep spamming out the summons. It's kind of neat. You know, just keep doing this. There's a bunch of stuff that comes up on the screen. You can just keep summoning that snowball golem. You know, to get the squirrels from Squirrel Girl. Like I said, it's just kind of fun to play. Plus, you know, it's viable. You know, I'm not saying it's the best summoner, but it's definitely not the worst. So anyway, guys, I'm going to leave it at that. The Omegas, I mean, I guess I can talk about the Omegas for a second. The Omegas are pretty much self-explanatory. Just go through everything. They have, you know, specific nodes here for summoners. One's Merge and Possess, and one's Shadow King. I also do the Supreme Intelligence, where I lose movement speed, but I gain intelligence. The Stepford Cuckoos, when you hit your summoned ally with 10% base damage critical hit chance for 5 seconds. Plus Overmind's Power gives you +6 intelligence. You know, of course, intelligence is the main stat for summoners because it gives you the not only does it give you more XP, but it also gives you the summoned ally damage. So anyway, guys, that's just a quick rundown of my Rogue Summoner. And you know, if you agree with me, leave a comment. You know, I'm always open for discussion about these builds. You know, I'm not saying this is the best build. The good thing about Rogue is it's when they add more characters in, it's constantly changing. So it's kind of cool to play the character. So anyway, guys, until next time, it's Count Shoculate, and I will talk to you later.